Hey everybody, how you doing this morning? Basically it's Saturday, so I am basically working my way through the new Money Masters DVD sets, and there's about 12 of these over here, and they are done by Anthony Robbins. Volume 1, I don't have Volume 2. Anyway, the last one that I got done with was the one on Marie Forleo. All these DVDs are about 2 hours, and they are interviews by Tony Robbins of people who are groundbreakers in their industry, to the point at which they are they're the new economic heroes of America. You know, you can read Napoleon Hill and Dave Carnegie and all these other people who existed back in the 50s, but that's the 50s. This is the 2000s, and to be able to be relevant in this economy, in this culture, you have to look at the people dealing in technology. The day of the industrial period of time where people went to work in factories or construction buildings or those kinds of places, those don't exist anymore, really. They don't. And now it's those who have an understanding of the technological revolution in our society who are going to be the ones who are able to tell you how to succeed in this new environment. So, the one that I'm watching now is Mike Koenigs, and he really was on the forefront of digital technology, creating games, creating the environment that you have. One interesting thing in this little booklet that they give you, this booklet, he talks about the answer is psychology, not technology. And basically what he's talking about is you have to have the psychology to adapt and to succeed using that adaptation. One of the things he says is there's 1.5 billion internet-connected users worldwide. You could live in a third world country in a closet and connect to the world if you lived next to someone with Wi-Fi access. Over 80% of the population of the planet has mobile phone access, even if they don't have access to things like clean water or transportation infrastructure. But it also comes with CDs if you want to listen instead of watch. But one thing that I've come to understand about myself is that I'm an individual who, you know, the only way that I'm going to make money is the way that these guys made money, and that is to believe in yourself and take calculated strategic risks and succeed using the most current technology. And, you know, that's one of the things that I really love about this video series, the new Money Masters by Tony Robbins, is, I mean, I'm learning stuff that, I mean, I've watched all these for the most part a couple of times, and yet every time I watch it, it's, you know, I learn something new, I get a fresh perspective. And you might say, well, Nick, there's no chance you're going to succeed because you live in a motorhome and, you know, you this and that and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, here's the reality of it. Here's the reality of it. I have tools which I can use to succeed. I have a laptop. I have videos of some of the best teachers in the country. And I have a friend and a mentor, Tim, who is constantly encouraging me even when I feel like absolute garbage. Now, you might be saying, well, with all this computer technology, you haven't done anything yet, why now? Well, the reality of it is that I was locked in this mentality where I had to find a job. I have people who I don't even really know who tell me you need to work in a factory, you need to dig ditches, you need to, things that would work in the 1950s. Trust me, in the 1950s, a ditch digger could make good money. You could literally work at McDonald's in 1950 and support a family of 4, 2 cars, own a house, go on vacations, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Nobody cares about the 1950s. I sure as hell don't. I'm focused on today. That's why I'm watching leaders and champions of this society, such as Tony Robbins. Now, I know a lot of people, will say, oh, Tony's just, a scam artist or a fraud or whatever. Well, a fraud does not interview and is not respected by leaders of technological fields. He's talking to people who are leaders in fields of marketing, real estate, advertising, internet business, and really the internet is one of those things that's going to change society. In the next 50 years, you're going to have more automation and technical ability in our society than ever before. Sincerely, we're just getting started from a standpoint of information technology. And I could also tell you that, I can watch videos here on YouTube or anywhere where people are living in RVs and running multi-million-dollar businesses. Would you be surprised to hear that? I think you would be surprised. I'm sure that some of my viewers, like Alfonso, who is a truck driver, former military vet, God bless him, who in his travels probably sees lots of multi-million-dollar motorhomes. Motorhomes that are just incredibly huge and expensive. So he understands that there's different cultures across the country. He understands how everything is interconnected. While other viewers that I have are still stuck in some 1950s ditch-digging factory work fantasy land that doesn't have anything to do with reality. This has to do with reality. People like Tony Robbins is living in reality. My friend Tim is living in reality. Alfonso is living in reality. I want to live in reality. And part of that living in reality is using the technology and resources that I have to become a success. And I sincerely, honestly believe that I will, and I can do it, especially when I listen to teachers such as the ones Tony Robbins is viewing. So the new Money Masters, it's definitely a DVD set that you ought to buy. There's 12 of them. 12 two-hour interviews complete with 2 CDs and booklets, which are incredibly informative and actually lay out the success strategies of the people that are being interviewed. And that's really important, is to understand the success strategy. Anybody can sit there and claim to know a success strategy. But if you're somebody who's actually going to put forth the success strategy and follow the steps that lead to success, you're going to succeed. It's not even in this day and age about how much money you can make. It's about how many people's lives you can change for the better. And if you know the right strategies to success, you can follow in people's footsteps and become a success. Now, I know I'll probably have some people saying, well, Nick, you're 40, you're this, you're that, you're bald, those are facts, those are not arguments. And I can show you people in society who are far worse off than me, and they're headed on their way to becoming multi-millionaires. And yeah, I have yet to make my first million, but you know what? I got my eye on the prize. I got my eye on the prize, and as long as I believe in myself and listen to the right people, such as Tony Robbins, I'm gonna succeed. That's reality. As long as I have good friends in my life, such as Tim, I'm gonna succeed. As long as I listen to healthy, successful people, I am going to become a healthy, successful individual. And yes, it is all about taking action. It is all about doing what one needs to do and learning about the technology and learning how to succeed in the field that you want to succeed in. You might say, well, Nick, what field do you want to succeed in? Well, obviously I want to succeed in screenwriting. Obviously I want to succeed in acting. Obviously I want to succeed in a couple of other fields, which I'm going to remain mute at the moment because, again, unless I actually have a strategy and a plan, they're just pipe dreams. And the way to turn a dream into a reality is by taking action and knowing exactly what you want and understanding that you can have what you want. Now, I know a lot of people in our society have a lot of apathy, a lot of depression, a lot of frustration. And I'm going to make some videos about that, teaching people how to help themselves. And a lot of it is about getting angry enough to challenge the false beliefs that you have in your head. When you challenge the false beliefs that you have in your head, you are able then to break out of the false beliefs and enter reality. And once you enter reality, you can actually succeed where previously you failed. And it is always about action. Tony himself calls the books action books. They are action books. You are meant to study this book. Study the tools of success. To learn and to grow as a human being, as a business person, and basically take action. It's all about, he says, it all comes down to taking action. First step is to find a coach or a mentor that you resonate with. Seek out an expert to partner with, someone you can model and learn from. Second step is simply deciding to do something. A lot of this, what they talk about is delegation, right? You don't have to do it all yourself. The days where you had to do it all yourself, they're gone. If you want to make, which interview? I forget which interview it is, but there's one interview in here where the guy is a young kid, and he's basically a multi-millionaire. And the reason he's a multi-millionaire is because he knows how to delegate, and he still does public speaking, he still does teaching, he still does the running of his business to a great degree. But he also delegates. So, I sincerely hope that I've encouraged you all to check out the new Money Masters by Tony Robbins. And it really is good advice for how to succeed in today's world. And I sincerely hope that all of you have a great day. I will be doing more videos in the future on success and entrepreneurship. Not so much on the spiritual stuff, because that, you know, that's all good, but it's not what drives today's society. And unless the spiritual helps with the physical reality, then it's really not even worth discussing, except as in terms of archetypes and getting one into the right state of mind. And Tony Robbins, in his books, he's always talking about getting oneself in the state of mind to succeed. So once again, check him out, the New Money Masters. I'm sure you can find some, if you can't afford it, off his website. You can probably find some on eBay or something, or maybe they'll even have some for you at the local library. I know my first introduction to Tony Robbins was his book, and then the first time that I got a hold of some of his CDs was when I was working at Goodwill, and there was a stack of just 10 CDs, and I went ahead and I bought those, and I listened to them, and I am convinced, and the only reason I have not succeeded yet is because I have strayed off the path of my own success, and I have not focused on the right people. The right people, again, are the people who want you to succeed in life, who believe in you, and who are willing to teach you how to become a success. All those naysayers, all those downers, all those boring, morose people who think that digging ditches is where it's at. Leave them by the side of the road. They've made their choice. Hop onto the speeding train of success and go forward into the future. And when you go forward into the future, you're definitely going to find companions to converse with and learn from along the way. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.